And there we go. Okay, we're recording. So thank you again for being here. Happy 4th of July in advance. I actually was really struggling to come up with a topic for today because of my own struggles that I've been going through. I was like, I feel like such a hypocrite. But then I was kind of prayerful about it, and I felt like Shree, you always can lead people through your struggle. Like, you can share that and help other people feel comforted by the fact that they're not alone. And so my biggest struggle is something I'm going to talk about tonight, and it is mindset and the way that I think about myself and the way that I believe in myself to do anything, let alone achieve much in this business. By way of just giving you a little bit of background of why this is such a hard thing for me. Some people on the team know more about me and some don't. So when I was little, some of my first memories from being 4 and 5 years old, I had an imaginary enemy. Some kids have imaginary friends. I had an imaginary enemy, and she followed me around. And I remember her telling me, "You're ugly, you're fat, you're stupid." And I was probably 4, maybe at oldest 5 years old, because it was before my parents divorced, and they divorced when I was in kindergarten. And so this was the earliest sense of self that I can remember. Was that why that happened? I have no idea. My parents, pretty good. My mom had really high expectations of me. My dad, they're both very loving though, so I can't put it on my parents. It just kind of happened that way. And so from my earliest point in life, I struggled with the way that I think about myself, which, as if you don't correct that by the time you're older, it turned into something else later on in life. And that for me was eating disorders. I was a straight A student, all this stuff, but I just never felt good enough. And I had enough turmoil that I started starving myself. And when you go down that road, it leads to all sorts of other things, depression being one of them, and just the wicked way that my thought process started about myself. And it would start with, Shree, you're fat, whatever, but it would go so much deeper than that. That was just the surface. And so it attacked every part of my being. Depression can really fool you and lie to you. And, I became suicidal, and I had a hard time crawling out of it. In fact, I have had some tendencies as I deal with, I do foster care, so I have children in trauma. I have tendencies to cling on to kind of that behavior through my foster daughter, who she's had a lot of things going on. So the biggest lesson I think I've been learning in the last 6 months is that whatever you think, you become. And that I don't believe that God wants any of that for our lives. And I think that the sooner we can take our thoughts captive, it changes everything. And it's not just it changes our personal lives. It changes our professional lives. It changes the way that we reach out and help others. And it changes your entire world. So what I'm sharing with you today is about mastering the basics by way of mindset. So I'm going to kind of mesh those things together. I'm going to share my screen here. And normally when I do this, I try to go into, sorry, got my Facebook up there. I try to go into full screen, but then I can't see you guys. So I'm just going to kind of leave it like this, and I might have to move it around as we go. If I go in present mode, I can't see you anymore. So you can take notes on whatever kind of stands out to you. I started out with some quotes and verses that help me to believe and act. And I would challenge each and every one of you to find verses or quotes that help you to believe and act. So the background is gray because, as I told you from my background, and my husband, poor guy, he still tries to help me with this, but I tend to have a gray, a gloomy sort of feel to how I think about myself naturally, and I'm working to make that go away. And so I use obviously these little sunshines or whatever, they look like flowers or sunshines, I don't know, because I'm trying to use God's light to shine more positivity into my own life and use that to help others. I've always been really good about having compassion for others. My compassion for myself kind of sucks. So I know not everyone on this team is Christian, and that's totally fine. These are just what work and help me understand what I'm capable of, not only in my life, but in this business, and kind of why I'm here. So the first one is talking about not being timid, but having power and self-discipline, because if we believe we have self-discipline, then we can discipline ourselves to do any of these vital behaviors, right? Let alone anything else, to our workouts, etc. I love this one, the power of prayer. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. And right before that, this is like Jesus talking. He was saying, like, if you have faith, even the smallest amount of faith, you can say to this mountain, move from here and go there, and it will go. And so often, even in this business, and especially in this business, actually, I forget that that is key to everything. I need to pray over my business, the people I'm helping, all that stuff before anything else. Again, this is just me. You don't have to believe that. That's just my personal belief. As far as your thoughts go, it's so easy in this business, I feel like, to compare, right? My biggest thing is, like, I look at other people and I am comparing my journey to theirs. I've been a coach for this long and I still haven't reached this rank or this status or this income level. And I start to focus on the things that are bad about me. So this verse just helps me to dwell on whatever's true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, or praiseworthy, even about myself, but let alone all the rest of the things about the world. I love this Arnold Schwarzenegger quote: "The mind is the limit. As long as the mind can envision the fact that you can do something, you can do it, as long as you really believe 100%. I also remembered when I was typing this in, there's a quote by Peter Boog, who has an awesome podcast I'll talk about later, where he said, if you even have 1% doubt in your mind, you're going to choose doubt every time. So it's so important for us as we think about mindset to get rid of doubt, eliminate it, catch it when it's coming in, and like reject it. It's not allowed here in our space, in our business, and in our mind. And then I like this because it's like an action quote, but when it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. And that's what I've been really trying to work on mastering the last few months. So I'm going to go on to this next one. So, okay, I already talked about it. I'm just going to say it again, you guys. This is just me, but it doesn't have to be, you know, if you don't believe the same way that I do, I'll talk about that. So the spiritual component for the mindset, like, understand that you are a spiritual being. Like, we're spiritual. There's that part of us, right? That the physical, like, they're physical things, but like, we know there's something deeper. Whatever you would say that is, there's that thing inside of you. You can call it your heart, your soul, whatever, that makeup of who you are. And connect with that part daily. Here is one of the things that has been really missing with me. So I'm a very spiritual person, through trial, like, you guys, like, it's not just like, I was raised in a home this way, and like, it's been tested. And so for me, when I disconnect from the very thing that saved me from devastation and suicide and eating disorders, I start to function differently. When we disconnect our spirit from who we are and what we're doing, it's very dangerous. So taking time every day for reading, prayer, or if you're someone who meditates and reflects on yourself, like what's, just taking that time to be quiet and listen to what your inner self is telling you. Make sure you're doing that every single day. This is part of mindset, because you have to protect yourself. You have to put borders of protection around yourself about those things that will come in. Like we talked about, doubt, like comparison, all those things. If you understand who you are in here, that other stuff doesn't matter. For ideas that I do, so pray immediately upon waking. I know that some people do immediate gratitude journal. They wake up, they reach over by their bedside, and they write in a journal just the things they're grateful for right when they wake up. So instead of, like, for me, is something I've struggled with since I was like a teenager, is the first thing that would happen when I wake up is all these bad thoughts would come in telling me all these bad things about me, what I'm not capable of, what I failed at yesterday, etc. So gratitude journal is a great thing to do. If you are a Christian or you read the Bible, First 5 is an app by the Proverbs 31 ministry, and it literally is like 5 minutes or less of reading and kind of reflecting on a verse. What I've been doing lately is I just chose a book of the Bible and I read and meditate on a chapter a day. So it's not taking a ton of time, but it's really helping me to connect. And then we're going to talk about affirmations later, but writing down spiritual affirmations and reminders, you can save it as your home screen or put a sticky note on your computer, etc. Just one thing about who you are inside, who you were made to be, put that somewhere, whether it's a verse or just something you think of, and put it somewhere where you can remember, because that will help with the mindset part. This one, affirmations. Remember, what consumes your thoughts controls your life. So what do you think about yourself truly deep inside? What's there? What are the insecurities? What are the doubts? What are the things that are shielding your best life? You know, what are those obstacles there? And then what about the good things? Like, what do you think about yourself in a good way? Like, do you look in the mirror and be like, you know what? Dang, I gotta go in and I see those muscles coming through, right? Whatever it is. I mean, sometimes the physical stuff seems so shallow to me, but once in a while, you know, girl, you like to look in the mirror and feel good, right? Or like, I'm really good at picking out my outfits. I'm not. I am so not. So if any of you are, please help a sister out. Or, you know, like I love really, really well. I love with all my heart. Whatever those good things are. Build on the positives, and again, take those thoughts captive that are eating away at your confidence, because obviously we know if we've been in this business for more than a day, if we let those negative things rule in our minds, it keeps us from being where we're at. And I am preaching to myself, you guys. Thank you for showing up so I could preach to myself today, because that is what I'm doing. I'm really bad at this. I'm blessed to have a husband who helps me like understand that I'm doing that to myself and catching it and whatever. So I'm trying to come up with some good things. Two of my examples that I actually have them sitting right here in my office. I have my affirmations that I rewrote last week. I try to rewrite them every month or so as life changes and as struggles change. But I'm worthy of God's love and favor. I am a generous 6-figure income earner. Sometimes you gotta speak that into life, right? Because I'm not yet, but I want to be. So do any of you want to share, if you have been practicing affirmations, do any of you want to share any of yours? Or maybe by the end.
That's something I need to work on, is I need to start doing that, because I'm not.
Yeah. It's been very life-breathing for me. And it is powerful. So yeah, definitely, maybe at the end, if we have extra time, everyone can write one. I spoke to a group of high school students, athletes 2 weeks ago. And I talked about affirmations, and by the end of the group, I had them all think of one and come up to this whiteboard and write them. And I choke up thinking about it right now, because the things they wrote, like I just remember one girl wrote, "I am powerful." And I was like, that right there, if you can cling to that when you're a 13-year-old girl and keep saying that to yourself, right? It's amazing. So yeah, definitely do that. Have at least 3 affirmations you say to yourself daily. Okay, PD. We hear it all the time in Beachbody world, don't we? It is like blah, 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 blah. But you guys, okay, so why am I not where I want to be today? I have a pretty great idea that it's because I put off personal development for the first 6 months that I became serious about this business. I kept being because I'm a mom and I coach 2 sports. And at the time when I first started, I was still teaching full time. So I was like, I am all up on personal development because I'm living it, but it wasn't true. So every single day without fail, no dang excuses, you have to do your personal development. And it can be I think we overcomplicate it. I thought I would have to have stacks of books piled around my house and I would have to pick my way through them. I actually, when I was listening to a podcast recently, they said, why would you read 60 books in a year? And it just be kind of in and out, in one ear out the other? Why don't you find 5 and read them, figure out which ones really speak to you, and then become a master at those ones? Now it took the pressure off me for books, because now I do have a few that I'm reading and rereading, and I can become a master of that. So sometimes that's okay to do that. It can be anything. I have been addicted to podcasts since January. I still do books. I still do. But I listen to podcasts. My husband's you've got to stop. You're overkill, because it's when I'm cooking, when I'm doing laundry, when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm driving, no matter what, if there's anything mindless that I'm doing like that, I pair those 2 things together and I listen to podcasts. Down below, I wrote some of my favorites that I've been obsessed with lately. Before we talk about that, though, personal development versus professional development, I would consider National Wake Up Call and the book Get Over Your Dang Self. I don't know if the kids are listening to that. Those would be professional development, because they have to do with MLMs, with your specific way that you're working. The Chalene Show with Chalene Johnson, who does PiYo, right? She does a lot about health and wellness and whatever. And I feel like I can help my clients so much better. That's sort of professional development too, because the more I understand about healthy eating and how people are different and stuff, the more I feel like I can reach more people. Build Your Tribe is another one. There's the book No Excuses. I don't know if anyone did that with us and Sona Strength. Focus on the Family is a podcast. That's actually a Christian podcast. But I listen to it because I'm a mom. And there are so many things on there that speak to how I can balance my personal and professional endeavors with a family life. Or if I'm struggling with something in my family that's affecting my professional life, I can go and listen to those. YEL 2.0, you guys, if you're really crunched for time, YEL 2.0 by Peter Voog is amazing. He power packs things into like 10-minute chunks, and you come away with so much. You're like, oh my gosh, like what? Boom, like everything is like like mind blown. He's the guy who wrote.
Is that a podcast?
Yes, sorry. Yes, this is a podcast. He's the guy who wrote the book 6 Months to Six Figures, which, by the way, is still one of my favorite books of all time, for personal or professional development.
I have that book. I just haven't started it yet. It's on my list.
Oh my gosh, do it. It's so good. And he even has you need a pen when you have the book, because there's little places where you interact with the book, which is my favorite. And then for me, obviously the Bible helps me with my spiritual development. So make sure that whatever area, I like this graphic because there are different areas of our life that we struggle with that do affect our professional life, our coaching life. So if you are struggling with something emotional, maybe you're overcoming some trauma from the past or whatever, then maybe you just need some personal development podcasts in that area of your life so you can free up that brain space to work more on your business or any other endeavors that you have going on. Okay. And then taking action. So I feel like the biggest way to overcome a negative mindset in Beachbody is to take action. I love this quote, and I got it I ordered push journals from Chalene Johnson. It says, if you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. So while mindset is super, super important, if we keep ruminating and overthinking and taking too much time thinking about it, then we're never going to get it done. And we can't work on our mindset as we move forward, on our confidence in inviting and our confidence in facing objections, all that stuff, if we're just thinking about it. So, this is very Beachbody is specific. Now in this slide, do your business activity tracker. I have old ones printed out still, but I know there are new ones that are prettier and way better. Print those out and be doing them. This is something I've really been working on the last couple of weeks, is actually sticking to that, especially as my time with all the kids kind of home for summer and in my brain space, I have to stick to something. There's no excuse not to be doing that. If you're not doing the business activity tracker, but you're struggling to hit Success Club, those two things, you have to, you guys. And I'm, again, speaking totally to myself, you have to be doing the business activity tracker because the vitals are built into that thing. So, you are inviting. When you're doing that, you're adding to your network when you're doing that. There's a place in here that says be proof the products work by drinking your Shakeology and doing your workout. Invite to learn about the business, follow up, check in with customers, connect with the team page, personal development, it's all on there. And our vitals, and I know on the new ones, they have also that fourth vital behavior, which would be recognizing. So did you recognize someone today? You have to do those every single day, because if we're not doing those every single day, and I know we can take a day off a week, whatever, that's fine. But if you're not doing those every single day, there's no way you can grow in your mindset because you're staying still. And I just think what I did for way too long, and what I don't want any of you to do, is to think too much, to look at the business activity tracker and get overwhelmed and feel scared and then to not do it. My inaction is what has held me back. Until, the last 6 months or so, where I really started to practice empowering myself through action and through my thoughts. Doing your workouts is a huge part of your mindset training, because as we know, depending on what workout program you're doing, your workouts are, and to me, this has always been a total comparison, is when I'm working out and I'm gritting, something's really hard for me and I'm doing it anyway, that teaches me so much about life. And Beachbody has this is why we chose Beachbody, right? Because of the workouts and the heartbeat behind it is that it's quality stuff. No one on the planet, as far as I'm concerned, can look at all of Beachbody's programs and be like, there's nothing here that's good for anyone. It's crap, right? It is like the highest quality stuff ever. So we need to be challenging ourselves with our workouts because it correlates to our mindset. If our workouts are hard and we do it anyway and we didn't give up and we made it through those push-ups this time, like for me, the plyo push-ups and gosh, which one was it? There's Body Beast and there's also another one in 21 Day Fix Extreme. So those push-up ones where I'd be like, I'm not going to give up this time, right? It just goes over into if you're going to do your vitals every day. Like, are you going to give up before this thing is done? Are you? You know, you've got their voices in your head. You're not giving up before it's done. The minute's not over or whatever they say. And same thing, like your vitals are not done yet. So you're not done today. So you have to do your workouts. And then also because it shows everyone what's possible. So what we want to do through our consistency, through sharing our workouts, through doing our vitals and being that voice of positivity that shows up every day is that you become the person that your friends and followers think of when they have a goal. And I heard that preached a while back. Forgive my cat. I'm ignoring him right now. It's not a child. It's a cat. What are you going to do? I heard someone say that a while ago and I was like, yes. That's what I want. Like, I don't really care if people think I'm super cool because I'm not. Like, I don't think like I'm kind of a nerd and I'm cool with that. Like, I like that part about myself. Like, I don't care if people think I dress really cool because I don't. That's not important to me. But if people have a health and fitness goal and they think of Cherie Johnson off the top of their head, that's my goal in this business because I have a heart to help them. Why would I want them to think of anyone else? Why would I want them to do Bikini Body Guide or download one of those apps or just search random YouTube videos? I want them to think of me, that I'm someone who is walking the walk, who is there with a compassionate heart showing up every day, and someone who has that confidence that when that person thinks of me and approaches me, that I'm like, oh yeah, like I can do this because I've been showing up, I'm consistent, I've been working on my mindset. And so I really think it's important that we're taking action every day because it shows other people what's possible and it helps build belief in ourselves. And I think I have one more. Same thing. It's following the same format, but just do it. Like practice everything that you've been scared to do. Fail forward, believe. And then just like our tagline for Beachbody, decide, commit, and succeed. You like, if you think about your clients, the one who've been really successful, they made that decision, they came to you, they're like, boom, I want to do this, tell me more about it. They committed to it. That's the second thing that I think all of us need to work on, just like in our fitness. We need to commit to this business. They always say you'll be here in a year. Heck yeah, say you'll be here in a year. But commit to doing everything you need to do for a year so you can really see where it takes you. That's where I failed for so long. That's where I vow not to fail anymore. And that is why I believe that I will succeed in this business, even if it takes me longer than it should have, because it already has. But I made the decision long ago, but I have now committed. And that's what we all need to do. And I put in here, Liz isn't on tonight, and get a success partner. It really, really helps you to stay motivated to keep practicing and failing forward. I still feel like, I'm not the best at my invites and I'm not the best at reaching people the way that I want to, but I'm okay with that now because I've been building up my mindset. And I think that as long as we practice that, we can master the basics. As long as we master our mindset and then just going out and doing it, we can master the basics and be masters of our business. I did post earlier and I didn't check right before I popped on. If anyone has questions, I would love to answer any questions about anything in the business. It doesn't need to be mindset, but if you have other questions pertaining to mindset, I'd be happy to share that too. So go ahead and I'll check I saw there were some comments, but I didn't read them. Stop sharing and read the chat. I will until, Darren, you want to expand on that?
That's my new go-to. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, and I really don't care, and I'm just going to keep doing things. So I'm just going to keep doing it until something happens, something really positive happens. I mean, you got to keep trying stuff. So I think the big thing for me a couple weeks ago, I came home on a Friday, and I said, what the heck did I do all week? I got a new phone. I got software loaded. I went through my coach online office. But the problem is when I came home, my desk looked the same. But when I made my list of things I did, I was like, wow, I got a lot of stuff done. And so I kind of realized, I've gone through my whole entire life. When I turn around and look, I can see where I've come from. But when you start doing some of this business stuff, it's all on a computer. It all looks the same every day, even though you've done a bunch. So I've been trying to journal things that I do, and I realized, wow, I got a lot of stuff done. Plus, I work my full-time job. It's like, hey, this is great. And so that's kind of been the motivation for me lately.
That's cool. Like logging it shows you what you've done, and it builds confidence in that too, right? That's awesome. Any other questions or comments or where you're at or what you commit to do? Did anyone write an affirmation? I encourage everyone not to quit. Let me see what you checked off. Make it. Yes, I love it. Any other checklist people out there? I'm getting there. Did anyone write an affirmation that they would be like happy sharing? Or take a minute to do it right now? No. It's okay. It's personal. But maybe something we can kind of start on the Team Sona Strength page this week is like I can start by posting one of my affirmations, and then people can comment below or something like that, just to get that level of positivity in our mindset going. Yeah, I don't know. Am I alone? Like, I guess you can just like raise your hand. Has anyone else struggled with mindset in the way that I have, that it's just been maybe your biggest obstacle in this business or in life? Yeah. Okay, good. I'm not alone. And I'm sorry. It's terrible, isn't it? Awesome. Oh, I see you, Kiana. Awesome. Okay, that's it, you guys. That's just 30 minutes. I love it. Like, in and out. Thank you so much for being here, like on a holiday. That's amazing, you guys. That's such great commitment. And I appreciate you all so very much. Thank you, Shelly. Have a happy 4th of July. Stay safe out there. Bye.